Once upon a time, there were two elderly parents named Jack and Mary who lived in an orphanage. Their children, who were now grown and successful business giants, had long forgotten about them. The children were so consumed with their own lives and their quest for wealth that they never thought about their aging parents and the life they had given them. Jack and Mary were heartbroken. They had always dreamed of being surrounded by their children and grandchildren, but instead they found themselves alone in an unfamiliar place. Despite their situation, they never lost their love and faith in their children. They always spoke kindly of them and hoped for the best in their lives. They were never bothered by the fact that their children never came to see them or take care of them. They believed that their children were just busy and that they would eventually come around. One day, Jack and Mary received a visit from their relative, who had come to see how they were doing. The relative told them about how their children had become wealthy and successful business giants, and how they were constantly in the news. Jack and Mary's eyes lit up with pride, and they were overjoyed to hear about their children's success. However, as the relative continued to speak, Jack and Mary began to realize that their children had completely forgotten about them. Jack and Mary were devastated. They had always longed for the love and support of their children, but now they realized that they would never receive it. Despite their sadness, they never lost hope. They continued to pray for their children and to wish them well, hoping that someday they would come to their senses and realize the importance of family. As the days went by, Jack and Mary grew weaker and weaker, and their health began to decline. They lay in their beds, thinking about their children and wishing they could be with them one last time. They were filled with sorrow as they thought about how their children had forgotten about them, but they never lost their love for them. One day, Jack passed away in his sleep, surrounded by his memories of his children. Mary was heartbroken, and she cried herself to sleep every night, thinking about her husband and the family they had lost. She knew that her time was also drawing to a close, and she wished more than anything that her children would come to see her before it was too late. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Mary grew weaker and weaker, until finally, she too passed away. The news of their passing reached their children, and it was as if a light had been turned on in their minds. They realized the value of their parents and the love they had always had for them. Tears filled their eyes as they thought about the life they could have had with their parents. They realized too late the importance of family, and they were overcome with regret for having neglected the two people who had loved them the most. And so, my dear children, is the story of Jack and Mary, the elderly parents who were never forgotten by the love they had for their children. May their love and determination inspire you to always value your family and to never let a day go by without showing them how much you care. Sweet dreams,